What's up guys, Nadem here. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to LFOs. LFOs are going to be a powerhouse for modulating your sounds, your effects. They give a lot of movement, and they are the primary reason you hear a lot of evolving sounds in dubstep sounds, that constant evolution of the sound. But it's not just for dubstep. A wide array of genres use LFOs, and I use them in practically every project depending on what I want to do. Let's say you want to pan vocals left and right automatically. Let's say you want to make a filter go up and down. Low frequency oscillators, or LFOs, are a pattern, a sine wave. These are literally what it's stated as, a low frequency oscillator. And what you can do is you can automate the movement of them, the speed of them, the synchronization of them, to give you different types of effects. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you a basic, very basic patch we have here. This is in Native Instruments Massive. Two oscillators. I have oscillator 1 and 2 on, and they're going through the first filter. So when we think LFO, if you guys are new to this, because I didn't use LFOs for a long time, they kind of seemed like scary. They seemed like uncharted territory. I was like, should I mess with that? Should I just stick with presets? Low pass filter we have here, a low pass filter, as we turn it down. So let's say we want to modulate that. Maybe I want it to be like, wow, 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 wow. How do I do that? Now you could draw the curve manually, and you could make it go down and up manually. Or we can use LFOs, and LFOs are perfect for that. So here in Massive, we can have a ton of LFOs, but the main LFO sections are 5, 6, 7, 8. These can also be changed to LFO. So let's say we want to use LFO 5. So I'm going to click and dump it over here. Now nothing has been changed yet. However, we can see in here we have to choose our shape. Do we want a smooth sine wave? Maybe we want something a bit rampy like this, maybe a square. If we want a nice progression, we want smoother curves. And there are also other curves you can select. Once you have a big chain going on of different macros and automations, then you can mess around with the shapes to get different effects. It can also be handy if you have like a preset you want to see, hey, I want to try Chinese roof. I want to try, I don't know, vibrato wave, So let's go back to what it was, the sine. And if you double click, it'll reset its designation there back to the default. There are a few different controls here, and keep in mind the controls that you learn in this tutorial and that pertain to Massive will still translate over to other synths like Serum or whatever synth that you're using. We also have the rate and the amplitude. So how much? Amplitude is basically the mix of the LFO. 100% wetness, 0% wetness, all the way to the left. So let's go ahead and take care of this. So if we click on and hold on number 5 here and move our mouse up, we can see that it generates like a min and max around here. So let's see how that sounds. So we can see it's breathing now. If we want to shorten the values, we can bring it down, click and hold down. We can bring up this value to see how it scales up and down. And of course, we can also kind of invert this. If we, instead of, let's take a step back. Instead of clicking up, if we click and hold down, now the max is here and the min is there. So it's kind of the other way around. So it depends on the intended effect. You're going to want to get creative with this, obviously, and make it your own and see what kind of sound you want to make. How do you want it synced? Right now, the next important thing is the rate of your LFO. So whatever instrument you're using, the rate of the LFO is going to be the speed. How fast is the LFO? This is going to be really great if you guys want to make rising synths. I do automate the rate, and I make it faster, and I automate other effects to make a really cool rising synth. So let's see how that sounds as we crank it all the way from the left to the right. Now, of course, rate is not in sync with your playlist, with your project. So if you want to make a bass line that's in sync, that is, no, not NSYNC, the boy band. I'm talking about in sync, okay? Talk about in sync. So hit the sync button. All other instruments should have that. And here we have different ratios. So 1/4, 1/8, 16th. This is like triplets if you do 12th. Bop, 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 bop. You know, and then if we go 1/4, now it'll start reminding you, kind of reminiscent of like the Skrillex wobbles. Now, obviously this patch is horrid. It's just a basic saw. But now let's just make a melody with this. Okay, just something basic. Okay, so now you get the idea. Let's mess with the amplitude to show you the amplitude. So there are a variety of ways you can make it more subtle, not only with the min and max values of the LFO itself, adjusting this, and of course the amp. I think a lot of things, I think Kill the Noise mentioned that, where he doesn't always have on his tracks like 100% amplitude on his LFO. The key is like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know. Think about your track, your bass line is like a little big cauldron of like pot of veggies, you know, a little bit of turmeric, a little bit of salt here and there. You know, it's everything that comes together. But just keep that in mind. LFOs, low frequency oscillators, they are your wave tables, they are your wave shapes that you use to automate and create automated modulation to really allow you to take your step further and to create your signature sound. So finally, let's just end this off just showing you what happens when we increase the ratio, what does it sound like, and we will change the curves. Alright, so very basic tutorial. I hope I can shed some light for you guys or people who are getting into sound design on just what LFOs are and how you can use them in your sounds. Comment below, guys. Let me know, how do you use LFOs? I do use them anywhere from like the wavetable to low pass and different filters, but also for panning. You could get creative with it and start panning left to right, create different modulations. And that's why I love Massive and I love plugins like Serum, because you can take these steps to create really something that is yours, something that you own. So comment below, let me know your thoughts on LFOs. Do you use a lot of LFOs? How to use them? What kind of synths do you use? Let me know of other videos, different content you want me to create. I really love reading your guys' comments, your suggestions. Stay subscribed as always. More content's coming out. My new track, Pharaoh, is going to be coming out soon. It's still in development, but I'm just super stoked to get it in your hands. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, keep making them gains.